Andariki namaskaramulu. Gurubhyo namaha. Today is 6th July 2023, and today is the third day, or today is the fourth day of our classes on Sanatana Dharma. This is the advanced level 2 course and certificate course on Sanatana Dharma. And we have already completed 3 courses of the basic of the same series. Now we are on the advanced level. The first 2 we have started with Vedas, and this is the third day of the Veda classes by Dr. CSR Prabhu garu. We will start the session with Vande Mataram by Chala Chittibabu garu and then Prarthana. Request Chala Chittibabu garu to recite Vande Mataram.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam Sufalam, Malayajasi Kalam, Sasya Syamalam Mataram, Vande Mataram, Subrajosna Pulakitayamini, Pullakusumita Drumadala Shobhini, Suhasini, Sumadhura Bhashini, Sukhadam Varadam Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram.
Vande Mataram. ధన్యవాదములండి చాలా చిట్టిబాబు గారు. Now let us request Ananthan garu to chant Prarthana.
Sarvebhyah namaskaraha. 1 minute meditation. Let us sit straight. Relax the body. Total concentration on breath. Our true suggestion to our mind not to entertain any other thought other than class for another 1.5 hours. Trivaram Omkaram. Om. Om. Gananam tva ganapatigum havamahe kavim kavinam upamashravastamam jyeshtarajam brahmanam brahmanaspatana shrinvannoti visvedasadanam mahaganapataye namaha prano devi saraswati vaje dirvajinivati Dhinamavitriyavatu Vagdevyai Namaha Gurureva Gatir Gurumeva Bhaje Gurunaiva Sahasmi Namo Gurave Naguroh Paramam Shishurasmi Guroho Matirasti Gurau Mama Pahi Guru ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।
ధన్యవాదములండి అనంతన్ గారు. Now Prabhu garu has come. నమస్కారం అండి ప్రభు గారు. నమస్కారం అండి ప్రభు గారు.
Namaskar.
Okay, let us request Prabhu garu to start the session, please.
नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहित प्रज्ञानघन प्रत्यगर्थो सोऽहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि. Well, friends, today we will cover a few more Vedic chapters or suktas like Sree Suktam. We have covered Purusha Suktam and Narayana Suktam already. Now, before we proceed into the subject matter, I had to give you some introductory remarks about the mantra concept. All the mantras are either in the Veda itself, like every statement in the Veda is a mantra. Like the famous Om Namah Shivaya is actually there in the Rudradhyaya. Namah Shivaya, Namo Bhavaya cha Rudraya cha Sarvaya cha Pashupataye cha, like this it goes on. Each one of them is a mantra. Like Bhavaya cha is Bhavaya, Namo Bhavaya is also mantra, Namo Shivaya is also mantra. So all statements in the Veda are mantras. In addition, there is a whole mantra shastra which has delved into the nature of the mantras and the bijaksharas and the powers. They have already told you about this. So the Devta Shakti is invoked by chanting that particular mantra. That the mantra itself is Devta. And the mantra comprises of many alphabets, many letters. And each letter has a particular power. Each letter is a Shakti by itself, and the combination is the Devata. You can have only one letter also, like Om is only one letter, that is enough. Those who are sannyasis, they will do only pranavopasana. They will be doing only Om Upasana, nothing else. So every other Devata mantra starts with Om. It's not Om, it is Om. 3 times. Harasva, Dirgha and Pluta. So that's why in many texts they write number 3 when they write Om. O and number 3 and Ma, Kara. Harasva. So the Harasva, Dirgha, Pluta, the 3 times when you, 3 seconds when you chant Om, that is Pluta. So every other Devata mantra starts with Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Sree Matre Namah, Om Gam Ganapataye Namah, Om Sam Saraswatye Namah. So all mantras start with Om usually, because Om is the supreme mantra, supreme sound, in which all other sounds are encapsulated already. That is, when you say Om, you are already saying A, U, Ma. That means starting with A, ending with Ma, all the alphabets in between. So all the Devata Shaktis in between. It's like I told you, Ra is Agni Bija, Ya is Vayu Bija, like this. All Devata Shaktis are there, and their combinations. Like Prana Shakti is a combination of Vayu and Agni. And so also some other combinatory, like when you take Sree, then there is Sha, Ra and E. There are 3 Shaktis combined. Sha is cooling, Ra is heat. So now if you take Aim is the knowledge provoking, Saraswati Bijam. In fact, Kalidasa, who was a shepherd, in fact, yesterday we had a discussion about Shudras and Brahmins and so on. Kalidasa, who is the very greatest poet in the world till today, other than the Vedas or Valmiki or Vyasa, he is not born as a Brahmin, he was born as a shepherd. So he was the most foolish person on earth. So in fact, when the king's daughter had to be married, the chief minister conspired, not our chief minister, but their chief minister in Ujjain, had conspired to bring the most stupid person available in Ujjain and get him married to the most knowledgeable princess of Ujjain. So he went in search and found one shepherd who is on the top of a tree branch and is cutting the same branch for the sake of wood, on which he was himself sitting, without realizing that he will fall down when the branch is cut. So the chief minister realized he is the most foolish person, most stupid person. So we better take him and get him married to the princess. So therefore he dressed him up in like a great scholar and took him and got married to the princess. So on the first day itself, the princess realized after marriage that he is a big fool, he is a stupid, he doesn't even know one alphabet, illiterate person. So she gets very upset and broken down, and then that man will realize that that was a big fraud committed on him. So he leaves the house and he goes in search of acquiring knowledge. He performs most intensive upasana of Kali in a temple in the outskirts of Ujjain. I have seen the temple, I have been to that temple. So because of his tapasya and upasana, finally Kalika Devi appears to him and writes on his tongue some Bijakshara mantras, because of which Kalidasa became extremely knowledgeable. In fact, he has mentioned that word Nadika Sevana Vidhau. So after that transformation, he forgot everything about his previous lifestyle and his personality. He went to Kasi and he learned all the Shastras, and he went here and there, and he delivered thousands of lectures. And finally, as a part of the lecture tour, he came to Ujjain, where his wife recognizes him, and he doesn't recognize because his entire personality got changed. So I'm just telling you the example of how a Shudra can become the topmost scholar by the power of the mantra, by the power of Upasana. So when we talk of Upasana, the Devata which is being performed Upasana, like you can have Shiva. I have sent you the Rudradhyaya recording. It is, you might have heard it many times in the past. So it contains the Upasana of Shiva. Of course, if you perform it before doing that Mahanyasam, also Mahanyasa Purvaka, Rudravishekam, that is even much more 100 times superior. So Shiva, as we all know, as a personality with a particular description, that is only a manifest, a small form. It is not the only form. Shiva himself is Parabrahman, Onkar. So there is a Shiva Sahasranamam and there is Shiva Puranam. So in this Rudradhyaya, which I have sent you, the Namakam Chamakam, the first part is describing the properties of Shiva, whom we call Shiva. You can call him Rudra, you can call him Bhava, you can call him Sharva, you can call him any name, or you can call him Parabrahman, or you can just say Om. So that the nature of Shiva is described in the Rudradhyaya and the Yajurveda, where the universal presence, like if you carefully listen, I was just listening before coming here. If you carefully listen, each and every item and personality is mentioned. Like Radhebhyo, Radhakarebhyo, Sabhabhyo, Sabhapatibhyascha, O Namo Namo Rikshebhyo, Rikshabhatibhyascha Namo, Ratebhyo, Ratapatibhyascha, O Namo Namo Rikshebhyo. Like this it goes on. So everything, all plants, trees, animals, or even inert objects. So, and even the castes of various professions, like Radhabhyo, Radhapatibhyascha, and Takshaka is a carpenter. So everyone is mentioned there, and the universality of Shiva's manifestation is proclaimed there. And at the end, there is a prayer for overcoming death. That is, whenever death is appearing to be near, how to overcome it. So he will pray to death himself. That Mruchave Swaha, and then pray to Shiva to extend his life. Prananan Grandhi Shiva Vasantagaha Denana Apyaya Swaha Mama Mruchur Rashad Ayurvardhatu. So may my longevity, my life be extended, my death be prevented. That's a prayer, that is a sankalpam. And then the famous Mahamrutyunjaya mantra is there. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanad Mruchor Mukshiya Mamrutat. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanad Mruchor Mukshiya Mamrutat. So there is a prayer. It's a plural number. Yajamahe. It's not that I am only praying for myself. I am praying in a group to Triambakam, who is Shiva, Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam, Urvarukamiva. Urvarukam means karbuja or the gumadikaya, that big fruit which has got a small thread-like stalk, that when it becomes heavy due to maturity, it gets cut off, it just falls down or gets disconnected. So in the same way, smoothly disconnect me from both death and the bandhas. Urvarukamiva bandhanat. All the bandhas, we have the bondage. Liberate me, and Mrucho Mukshiya, and liberate me from death. Mamrutat. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mruchor Mukshiya Mamrutat. From death, you liberate me. So if you repeat this Mahamrityunjaya mantram, any death can be pushed back. In dire situations, when people are going to die or some such thing, they chant this mantra. All the mantras have their effects, power from at least 2 or 3 different sources. One is sankalpam, the desire. What is being desired? If you have a strong desire, you can overcome death also. That is number one. Not only that death, you can achieve anything. In my life, I have seen whatever I have desired strongly, I have achieved. In fact, in everybody's life, whatever you are achieving is coming by nothing but what you have desired. In fact, today, if you are sitting and listening to my lecture, that is the result of your desire to attend this course and listen to the lecture. And if I am speaking, it is my desire to give this lecture. So whatever events that happen in this life are the results of the desires, the sankalpas of your own self previously. So that strong willpower is going to result in the desires being fulfilled. So sankalpam, that is strong willpower, sankalpam is being made here. And after explaining the universal presence of Shiva in the Chamakam, as I told yesterday, there will be a mega prayer. So what all I want, in fact, I may want a child, or you may want a job, or somebody wants gold, somebody wants silver, somebody wants a promotion, somebody wants a green card, somebody wants a PhD, whatever. So all possible desires are listed there. Almost all, even if you search carefully, you may find hardly anything which is not mentioned there, directly or indirectly. Everything anybody can have is mentioned there, starting with peace. Sham chame, mayaschame. Maya means everything, all wealth and all good things. Shanchame, mayaschame, anukamaschame, kamaschame, all my desires and all. Anukama means the subsidiary desires. If I want a child, then the pregnancy is required before that, and before that marriage is required, and so on. Anukamaschame, kamaschame, saumanasachame. Ultimately, I should have a good mind. Vittanchame, I need money. Vittischame, bhutanchame, bhutischame, I need grace. I need good name and fame and reputation. Suschame, prasuschame, sushachame, sudinanchame. I should have a good day today. So people say, have a good day. That's what is mentioned here. So like this, it goes on and on and on for half an hour. Hundreds of desires. Everything which you can think of. That is a mega prayer. That is chamakam. Cha means and this, not just one, but and all possible desires. So friends, the core Hinduism, if you ask who is the most popular, most supreme, most universal Devata, it is Rudra, Shiva. You go anywhere in India, Shivalayam will be there. Shiva is being worshipped. Of course, we have yesterday covered Vishnu, Narayana. Now here Shiva is being, but finally it will be told that all are the same Parabrahma. Now the Rudrajaya is on Shiva. Now we will shift our discussion to Shakti. So as I told you, of the 6 Shanmata Sthapanacharya, Shankaracharya established 6 matas. Shiva, Vishnu, Shakti is number 3. Of course, Ganapati, we have already discussed, Kartikeya and Surya. Surya we have discussed in the context of Gayatri Mantra. And when you say Surya, it means all the Navagrahas are associated with Surya. So each Navagraha is coming into picture. So about Surya and Navagrahas, as you by now know already, your karma of the past lives is the cause of your present life and birth and the good and bad experiences which you get. So nobody who has not committed sins will be born. If you have not committed any sins in the past life, you would have not born at all this life. So, in fact, it is said, in fact, even my mother told that when Papa and Punya are exactly equal, you will be born as human being. Shrine Punye Mapchalokam Visanti. That is also mentioned in the Gita. So, when you are born as a human being, you have some Papam and some Punyam. So, that Papam has to be experienced, it has to be suffered. So that's why you will have so many problems. I also had very, very impossible situations in my childhood, very difficult problems. And even later, I had many difficulties. I'm sure all of you must have had so many difficulties in your life, sufferings. All that is a result of the Papa Karma performed in the previous lives. So when you are born in such a point of time that your Papa Karma and Punya Karma will be causing that birth at that particular point of time. So when the fetus is in the womb, in the 4th month or so, the soul enters, and then these lines are formed here. And surprisingly, the time of birth will be tallying with these lines. The palmist and astrologer will tally with each other. Of course, there are some people who are both palmist and astrologers. They know that whatever is there in the palm, same thing is there in the horoscope. The horoscope is nothing but the angular position of the planets when you're born. So what is it being indicated is your karma. Planets are not interested in it. The planets are very big. But it is like a clock. It is like some kind of a meter. And clock is a time meter. So also this planet's motions are like a meter. So they'll be indicating the karma with which you are born, the past karma. So therefore, if you go to the astrologer, he will tell you, you'll have this problem, you'll have that, so many problems at so many points of time. And then he will say, you perform this upasana, this, you perform Durga upasana if your Rahu is bad, or you perform Surya upasana, you perform Surya Graha Shanti, or you for getting happiness or health, or you perform so-and-so Buddha Graha Shanti, so depending on the motion of the planets at a particular point of time. Like last week, I have performed, in fact, Tuesday, I performed the Homam of the 10 days Japam and Shanti for Buddha Graha as prescribed by the astrologer. So why I'm telling all this is when you say Surya Upasana, you are referring to all the Navagraha Upasanas. For what purpose? To overcome the sins committed and their effect. Not that 100% it will overcome, but partly it can be calmed down. You have to suffer the consequences of your karma, but you will have a better way, like, rain has to be experienced, but you may have an umbrella to carry. You can't stop rain, but you can carry an umbrella, something like that. This Shanti, that's why the karmas which I mentioned last time, apart from the Nitya Naimittika Kamya Karma and Shrauta Smarta Pauranika Karma, we also have Shantika Paushtika Abhicharika Karmas. There are 3 types of rituals in the Vedic lore. Shantika, that is, which are meant for calming down the sins and the problems and sufferings coming out of the sins of the previous lives or even this life. And Paushtika is strengthening for children and all. We do the Paushtika Karma, Pushti. And third is Abhicharika Karma, which are the enemy-oriented, destructive karmas. So in the Atharva Veda and the Tantra Shastra, there are 5 Abhicharika karmas: Vedanam, Mohanam, Uchadanam, and Vashikaranam, and then finally Maranam. Without touching, they can kill the enemy by performing a ritual. Like, in fact, in the Ramayana also, Indrajit was trying to perform one such karma, which was interrupted and destroyed by Hanuman or Lakshmana or somebody. So those have those kind of powers. So these what are called the tantric karmas. So now they are coming under what is called the they are coming under abhicharika karmas. So Shantika, Paushtika and Adhicharika karmas are there, and the Purohits, particularly the Raj Purohits, they have the power to perform those knowledge and power to perform those karmas for in favor of the king or in favor of the kingdom. So in fact, the entire Hindu religion and its rituals are all based on the Vedic mantras and devatas. So when you talk of Surya Upasana, we are talking of the Navagraha Upasana, aiming at particular results, particular sins and sufferings to be overcome, or getting particular positive results. Like surprisingly, some of these grahas have very strange effects, like Ketu is supposed to be a bad graham, but Ketu is also capable of giving you Brahmajnanam, Vedanta Jnanam. Others are not capable. So they all have their own functions. In texts like Hora Parasharam, the effects of the position of the planets in your horoscope are explained. Of course, they didn't give any reasons why this particular position of the planet will have this particular effect, positive or negative. They didn't give reasons, but it is given. This will be the effect, this will be the effect, this will be the effect. So what our astrologers will do is to just interpret those declarations in the texts and explain for the particular individual in that particular context. So astrology is a very big profession, is a very lucrative profession, because everybody wants to know the future, everybody wants to do some remedial action for his sufferings already there or going to come. So that is the Surya Upasana part. Now coming to the, we have already discussed Ganapati. Kartikeya I will not discuss, I am not competent. In South India, Murugan or Kartikeya, Subramanya is the major deity, and that's why he has been accommodated here. We all know about Subramanya, what all powers he has got and what kind of upasana. The entire Hindu religion is based on these 6 Devata upasanas. Like Kukke Subramanya is famous for Subramanya's effects on childbirth and life and so many problems, marriage and so many problems in life. You go there. To simply go to a temple and perform some upasana there, puja, ujapam, whatever there is prescribed there, it will have an effect on the horoscope, planetary position, and can have a beneficial effect. Of course, if your willpower is so strong, you don't need all these things. It is meant for ordinary people, not for people like Vivekananda, Shankaracharya, who are very strong, who don't require any of this. They will themselves achieve what they want to do. The willpower supersedes all horoscopes and all planetary rituals and so on. So now coming back to the Shakti, now Shiva, we have already discussed Narayana and we have discussed Shiva. Now we will discuss about Shakti, and the rest of the session today I will focus on the Shakti Upasana. Now Shakti means what? Prakriti. Mula Prakriti Avyakta, Avyakta, Avyakta Swarupini. Both manifest and unmanifest. Vyakta and Avyakta. So what is called Adi Parashakti, which is unmanifest. And what Apara is manifest. Apara Prakriti is manifest. Which you see, Bhubi Rapo Anlo Vayu Kham Mano Buddhirevacha Ahankara Idiyam Me Bhinna Prakriti Rashtadha. So Lord Krishna explained in the Gita this Ashtavidha Prakriti, Bhumi, Apa, Anala, Vayu, Kham, Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara. 8 components of the manifest Prakriti. That is called Apara Prakriti. Pare Amitastvanyam Prakritim Vidhime Param Jiva Bhutam Mahavaho Yayedam Dharyate Jagat. The Para Prakriti is behind the Apara Prakriti, the unmanifest, which is also called God or Ishvara in some context. So now is also called Parashakti or Adi Parashakti. So Adi Parashakti, Mula Prakriti, Avyakta, Avyakta, Avyakta Swarupini. So this Adi Parashakti is the source of all creation. Sree Rajarajeshwari. So we have Dashamahavidyas. Rajarajeshwari is the original Adi Parashakti. Also Lalita Parameshwari, Bala Tripura Sundari, and so on. And the Dashamahavidyas like Lakshmi is one. And then we have Durga and Kalaratri, and we have Katyayani, and we have Brahmacharini, and so Navadurgas are there. There are many Navadurga temples. And the manifestation of Adi Parashakti has happened many times. If you remember in the Sati Parinayam of Shiva, and then the subsequent Daksha Yajnam and all. After Sati has committed her own immolation, then Adi Parashakti, in fact, the parts of the body of Sati, which have fallen at different points on the earth, they all became the Ashtadasa Shakti Kshetras. You have Kamakhya, and you have various other spots. Even in Kurukshetra, one part is fallen. So all these different points have become the Shakti Pithas. And Adi Parashakti then enters, or Shiva makes the Adi Parashakti enter into Parvati. Parvati was a human, but in the Amarnath cave, Shiva has made her grow spiritually through the higher yoga practices to such an advanced stage that Adi Parashakti's manifestation was penetrating into Parvati's human form, and therefore Parvati became the manifestation of Adi Parashakti. All this is explained in the Shiva Puranam and various other. By the way, don't have any impression that Vedas and Puranas are totally independent and all that. It's not true. Puranas are nothing but the simplifications or personifications of the Devata Upasana, the Vedas. So Veda is central to the Hindu worship. It is there in every single ritual. The Vedic mantras are chanted, and other mantras like Sahasranamas and other mantras which are supplementary, they are added on. And the procedures of Mahanyasam, Karanyasam, all these are added on to make the entire single ritual. So I hope you are getting a broad idea of the core Hindu practice, the rituals. So in the Shakti Upasana, we have famous kshetras are Vaishnavi Devi in Jammu and so on. So and all these different manifestations of Shakti, like Dhaka is the name used for Dhakineshwari temple there, and that is also one of the Ashtadasa Shakti Pithas. And in Sri Lanka also we have Vimala Devi Shakti Pitham. You know that slokam, Lankayam. So it goes on that all the 18 Shakti Pithas. So each the Adi Parashakti, when she entered into the Parvati's body, then Parvati became Adi Parashakti. And at different times, when the Rakshasas like Shumbha, Nishumbha, Bunda, Chamunda, Mahishasura, all these people have been killed by the Adi Parashakti in the form of Durga, in the form of Kali, in the form of all manifestations of different types at different times, at different locations, for different purposes. I visited in Himalayas all the specific Shakti Kshetras, like we have Chintapurni, we have Jwara, and we have Vajreshwari, we have Chamunda. Those spots in Himalayas, the actual events of killing of the Asuras took place, and all that is being described in the Devi Saptashati, which is chanted. Parayanam is done, and even during Chandi Homam or Chandiyagam, it is chanted. And Parayanam is also done, otherwise also. So I have seen in my own life impossible things happening by this Upasana. In fact, in my own life, I was in deep crisis in Delhi. My post was not given to me at the right time. I won the court case, but action was not being taken. In the meanwhile, elections came. I was in deep trouble. So I visited all the Shakti Pithas in Himalayas. And by the time I came back to Delhi, everything got totally changed. In the elections, the people, the Congress party and Kapil Sibal and others who worked against me, they all got defeated completely. And within 5 minutes, I became Director General, which I was supposed to become 6 months before that. So they have stolen 6 months of my career by corruption. There, some 14 crores was paid as bribe to the minister by the companies to get 1,000 crores or 100 or something like that cleared purchases by floating certain procedural rules, which I would have not done. So they found somebody else to do it during that period, even though the court declared in my favor. So then one of my colleagues told after many years, who came with me to the Himalayas, भगवती माता जी ने आपको ऐसा वरदान दिया कि आपने NIC को हिला दिया. So it was such a shocking, revolutionary impact. So the power of Shakti is so great. I have experienced in my life how things can happen. And another instance in my own life is the Lakshmi Upasana. I was in deep trouble in Madras. My mother died and I was transferred to Madras, and my wife had a fracture accident. My son was very small. I was going up and down Madras and my health was getting damaged. A deep crisis. Then I was guided by some sources to perform Mahalakshmi Upasana. So I brought Mahalakshmi Yantram from Madras and established in my house and started doing Mahalakshmi Upasana. There's a Vola mantra of Kamale Kamalalaye Prasida Prasida Sreem Hreem Sreem Mahalakshmi Nama. So even today, every day I do it, and I have found miraculous effects. And those who want to learn Mahalakshmi Mahamantram and perform Upasana, if they do it, they will overcome all the problems, all possible problems in life. I have seen in my own case, miracles happened. My boss who refused to transferred me here. And after coming to Hyderabad, so many problems were there in the office. All problems one by one were overcome. And finally, I became Deputy Director General. I got international awards. And finally, I went to Delhi. And I told you what happened in Delhi also. So the Upasana is the only source you can be rescued from the serious problems in life. And during COVID, I have performed a daily Rudrabhijakam and Mahanyasa Rudrabhishekam, which helped a lot in saving myself from COVID, staying far away from city. Now, these upasanas are not just for sake of ritual, they actually work. Whatever you want, you can get. Like I have performed the Saraswati Upasana for a different reason, for some PhD completion by somebody in my family. And it also worked. So Saraswati Sahasranama Stotram has Mola mantras, and again, some of those mantras are taken from the Veda itself. Saraswati Suktam is also there. So depending on your requirement, which will be told by the astrologer, or you can find out yourself also from other gurus or teachers. You perform that upasana, like Mahalakshmi Upasana is basically Sree Suktam. In the Veda, there is a Saraswati Suktam, no doubt, but Sree Suktam is very popular for Adi Parashakti, all problem solution in the form of Lakshmi. So, who is Lakshmi? Wife of Vishnu. It's not like they are not human beings to have a wife and Aadhaar number and all that. So it is the Adi Parashakti in the what is called Ichha Shakti. We have Jnana Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti. So Jnana Shakti is Saraswati, Ichha Shakti is Lakshmi, and Kriya Shakti is Durga or Kali. So now in the Sandhya Vandanam, we perform the Upasana of Gayatri. We also know that Gayatri, Savitri, Saraswati, all three are three different aspects of the same Shakti, Jnana Shakti. So Gayatri, the word Gayatri means you are singing a particular mantra. And the word Savitri means the power of Surya, Savita. And Saraswati is, of course, your knowledge, power. So all the three are being combined together. And the Gayatri mantra chanting, if you perform every day a number of times, it can be 100 or it can be 1,000. My father performed every day 1008 times, or 108 times, or at least half of it, whatever, 11 times, whatever you can. I know one person who performed 2 crores of Gayatri Upasana Japa, Ram Nivas Sharma. He lived for 100 years. And when he, on the time of his last minute, he suddenly had a darshan. He kept on shouting darshan, darshan, and collapsed. So he was so great. He used to tell you, just perform Gayatri Upasana, Sandhyavandanam, and Gayatri. That is enough. That will take you to any number of great heights and positions. Even our Sringeri Shankaracharya has mentioned many times, if you perform Sandhyavandanam and Gayatri mantra chanting Upasana regularly, that is itself adequate. It will take you to any level, highest one. Of course, other Devata mantra Upasanas are also there, and people do perform those things also, Dashamahavidyas, and they perform various types of Nitya mantra Upasanas, like we have Shodasi, we have Panchadasi. So these are the mantras, the Devatas, which are various Nitya Adi Parashakti forms. And there are people who perform this, there are people, there are organizations who are into what is called the Sree Vidya Upasana, or into gurus who teach that, or there are people into Lalita Upasana. So different, the Chandi Homam, this Homam, that Homam. So all these are nothing but the Shakti Upasanas. So Adi Parashakti. So in the Veda, the Adi Parashakti is delivered in the Sree Suktam. There is a Saraswati Suktam, all right, and there is a separate Durga Saptasati, all right, that's not in the Veda, but outside Veda. Anyway, inside Veda or outside Veda, it is not a very big thing because they're all connected, they're integrated. Veda, the Puranas and the Shastras have all integrated. So, well, there are 51, there could be, I'm not sure, but normally only 18 are heard, Shaktipithas. So now the point is that the understanding of the nature of the Adi Parashakti, which is nothing but nature, Prakriti, Moola Prakriti, Avyakta, Vyakta, Vyakta Swarupini, both unmanifest and manifest. So now we will go into Sree Suktam, and I'll explain you the rest of the session. Sree Suktam. Hiranyavarnam Harinim Swarna Rajatasrajam Chandram Hiranmayim Lakshmim Jata Vedo Mamavaha. We are praying to Jata Veda, that is Agni. O Jata Veda, bring that Lakshmi to me. Mamavaha. May her come and Avaha, Avahin Shugaka Namida. Hiranyavarnam, golden colored. Harinim Swarna Rajatasrajam Chandram. He's as cool as the Chandra. The way Venera, what we call. Well, the word Upasana means chanting the particular Suktam, or listening to it, or that imagery, that visualization of that Devata form. In fact, these Devata forms are visualizations which come out of the sounds. There is a timoscope, which is a machine. If you input a sound, it will produce a shape of that sound. And when the input was given, Lalita Sahasranamam, then the shape came of Adi Parashakti, Rajarajeshwari, Lalita Parameswari. If you gave input as Om only, then triangles came and Sri Chakram got created. So these are the shapes of the sounds, which you cannot see with your own eyes, but there are machines which can show you that. And great people can also see that themselves as the aura, in the Akashic form. Hiranyavarnam Harinim Swarna Rajatasrajam Chandram Hiranmayim Lakshmim Jata Vedo Mamavaha Tam Avaha Jata Vedo Lakshmi Manapagaminim Yasyam Hiranyam Vindeyam Gamashram Purushanam Asvapurvam Radhamadhyam Hastinatha Prabodhinim Sriyam Devi Upahvaye Srirma Devi Jushatam Tam so smitam hiranyaprakaram ardran jwalantim truptam tarpayantim padme sthitam padmavarnam tam yopahvaye shriyam. So the visualization of the Lakshmi as sitting on a lotus, Padme sthitam padmavarnam tam ihopahvaye sriyam chandram prabhasam yashasa jwalantim sriyam. She is burning out of her fame. Yashasa jwalantim sriyam loke deva dushtham udaram tam padmevim sharanamaham prapadye alakshmir me nasyatam tvam brune. Let all the alakshmi go away from my house. Alakshmi means opposite of Lakshmi. Lakshmi means shobha, greatness, grace, great things in life, all good things in life. Opposite, all bad things may be all driven out of my house. Alakshmir me nasyatam Adityavarne tapasodhijata vanaspatistava vrukshodha bilva tasya phalani tapasanudantu mayanta rayascha bahya alakshmi upaitumam devasah kirtischa manina saha pradurбhutosmi rashtrasmin kirtim ruddhim dadatu me. I am born in this nation. May I get good name. Pradurbhutosmi rashtrasmin kirtim ruddhim dadatu me shut pipasamalam jeshtham alakshmin nashayamyaham. Let all the bad things like hunger, poverty, thirst, shut pipasamalam, impurities, everything be dismissed, driven out of my house. Alakshmin nashayamyaham abhutim asamruddhincha. Lack of supplies, a lack of materials, anything in lack of money. Abhutim asamruddhincha sarvan nirnudam egruhat. All of them be thrown away from my house. No lassitude, no lassitude. Nothing is depleted. Everything is full. Abhutim asamruddhincha sarvan nirnudam egruhat. Gandhadvaran duradarshan nityapushthan karishinim Ishwarim sarvabhutanam tamiho pahvaye sriyam Sreer me bhavatu alakshmir me nasyatu manasah kamamakutim vachasachamasimahi pashunam rupamanyasya mayi Sree Sriyatam yasha. May I get Sree and Sriyatam and Yashaha, that is reputation, great name and fame. Kardamena prajabhuta mayi sambhava kardama Sriyam vasaya me kule, not only in me but in my entire dynasty lineage. Mataram padmamalini mapasrujantu snigdhami Kaklitava same gruhe nija devi mataram Sriyam vasaya me kule Ardram pushkarinim pushtim pingadam padma malinim suryam hiranmayim Lakshmin jata vedo mamavaha tam avaha jata vedo Lakshmi manupagaminim yasyam hiranyam prabhutam gavasvam purushanyam yashuchit prayato bhutva juhuyagadhamanvayam Sriyah panchadasarchancha Srikama Satatam japet. A Srikama, that means a person who wants all good things in life, 8 good things in life. Srikama shall always repeat this Sri Suktam mantram japam. Srikama Satatam japet ananda kardamaschaiva siklita iti visrutarshyaste traya putra vayam Sri Devi Devata Padmanane Padmauru Padmakshi Padmasambhave Mam bhajasva padmakshi yena saukhyam labhamyaham ashvadayi cha godayi dhanadayi mahadhane dhanam me jushatam devi sarva kamardha siddhaye. Oh Devi, give me money for fulfilling all my desires. Dhanam me jushatam devi sarvakamartha siddhaye putra pautra dhanam dhanyam hastya shvaja vigoradham pashunam bhavasi mata ayushmantam karotu mam. First, let me live long and give me children, grandchildren, vehicles, horses, elephants, etc., etc., etc. Those days, cars were not there, so they were using only horses and elephants. So, putra pautra dhanam dhanyam hastyashvaja vigoratham ashunam bhavasi mata ayushmantam karotu mam. Chandrabham Lakshmi Misharam Suryabham Shriyamishwarim Chandra Suryagni Sarvabham Sri Mahalakshmi Upasmahe. Now you know the brightness or the color or the light coming out of moon, Chandrabha, and you also know Suryabha, that is light coming out of sun, and you also know Agni Abha. So whereas Mahalakshmi has all the three within herself. Chandra Surya Agni Sarvabham Sri Mahalakshmi Upasmahe. Dhanam Agni Dhanam Vayur Dhanam Suryo Dhanam Vasu Dhanam Indro Bruhaspati Varunam Dhanam Ashnude Vainateya Somam Bibati Vritra Somam Dhanasya Somino Mahinda Dhatu Somini Na Krodho Na Chamatsaryam. Don't ever get angry and don't get ever jealous. Na krodho na cha matsaryam, na lobho, no greed, na ashubhamati, don't talk negative things. Bhavanti krita punyanam bhaktanam Sree Suktam japet sada. You shall chant this Sree Suktam again and again. If you ask a question whether what is Sree Suktam and what is that Mahalakshmi mantram, both are Mahalakshmi Upasana. You can do this first, Sree Suktam first, and then you can do the japam of the Mula mantra. Om Sreem Hreem Kleem. Sorry. Sreem Hreem Sreem Kamale Kamalare Prasida Prasida Sreem Hreem Sreem Mahalakshmi Namah. This you can chant 108 times or 54 times. Om Sreem Hreem Sreem Kamale Kamalare Prasida Prasida Sreem Hreem Sreem Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Sreem Hreem Sreem Kamale Kamalalaye Prasida Prasida Sreem Hreem Sreem Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Sreem Hreem Sreem Kamale Kamalalaye Prasida Prasida Sreem Hreem Sreem Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Sreem Hreem Sreem Kamale Kamalalaye Prasida Prasida Sreem Hreem Sreem Mahalakshmi Namaha. And so on. You will get results, and the proof of the pudding is in eating it. I got results, everybody got it. I taught this to some people, they also got it. Okay, so Mahalakshmi, all the Ashtalakshmis, Dhanalakshmi, Dhanyalakshmi, Santanalakshmi, Vijayalakshmi, all the Ashtalakshmis will be, all grace will be showered. It's very explicit. It is basically your own sankalpam, your own willpower, on what you wish. Strongly you are telling, you want all good things in life. Lakshmi is nothing but all good things. Lakshmi means Shobha. And you want to dismiss all bad things. All bad things are coming out of depletion of resources, or anger, or greed, or jealousy, and all these negative emotions. You throw them out. So you throw them out not only from yourself, from your outside your house, totally into the Bay of Bengal or Indian Ocean or somewhere. So those things are the real culprits. If you throw them out and then wish for all positive things, then the grace will be showered on. So that is all in your willpower. It's your own sankalpam. It's your own words. It's your own desires and wishes which you are asserting. These are all assertions. These are all suggestions to the inner being or supreme being. So they do work, the results will come. So I have finished the Sree Suktam. Manasakavama kotim vachasatchama mahi pashunam rupamanyasya mahi Sree Sriyatam Yashaha. So we want wealth, all types of Sree and Yasha, that is great reputation. So this is later evolved into the Puranas as Varalakshmi Vratam. This is the same Mahalakshmi who gives Varams is called Varalakshmi. all females are required to perform it, and they know if they perform what kind of benefits they get, if you don't perform what kind of loss they get. So that is how the most popular rituals and festivals, to the extent of declared as holidays. Deepavali is Lakshmi's, Varalakshmi Vratam is Lakshmi. You go to any temple, you will see Lakshmi everywhere. This is most popular. And in Telugu, Potana has written a wonderful poem. Harikin Bhatta Purani, Punyamula Provardhampu, Chanduruto Buttu, Bharati Sutaldonadu Puboni, Tamaralandundadi Muddaralu, Jagamul Manninchu Illalu, Hasuratan, Lemulu Babu Talli, Sree, Ichun Nitya Kalyanamul. So this is the poem written in the beginning of Srimad Andhra Mahabhagavatam by Potana in the most beautiful way. You all must have understood what it means, those who know Telugu. Harikin Patta Purani, Punyamula Provardhampu, Chandurudo Buttu, Bharati Sutaldo Nadu Puboni, Tamaralandundadi Muddaralu, Jagamul Manninchu Illalu, Hasuratan Lemuluba Putalli, Sree, Ichun Nitya Kalyanamul. So I finished today's lecture. Now we can open for questions.
Okay. Dhanyavadamalandi. In the chat box, we will see the questions. After that, we will interact with them directly. Chala Chitrandu.
Yeah, chat box questions have already been answered. He has already seen and answered. There are no new questions. There is only one question by Gautam Mukherjee. What are the instruments which can display the mantras, as you mentioned?
For timoscope,
Timoscope.
it displays the shape of sound. If you remember, in physics lab, we used to have Lissajous figures.
Yes.
You have a big sheet, you put some small grains and vibrate with tuning fork, it will form into a pattern. So that is the kind of thing it is. And by inputting Om, long Om, they got triangles, which is in the Sree Chakra.
Okay.
Yeah, the questions are over. It's open now.
No, one question has come just now.
Acha.
No, questions are coming. They are now warming up. They're just
okay.
warming.
Good. Do Upasana need to be initiated by Guru?
Better. If it is not possible, you can do on your own by depending on the book. If possible, Guru is better.
That's the only question that has come.
No, some more questions are there.
We find different Grama Devatas, Renuka Devi, etc. Are they forms of three Devis?
No, they are also Adi Parashakti forms. In fact, Grama Devatas are like Pochamma, Nalla Pochamma actually means Durga, Parvati. She is dark, Shyamala, like that. And we have so many. Kali, of course, Ujjain Mahankali temple is there in Secunderabad. In Ujjain is the original temple.
So, the other question is,
all the Grama Devatas are the different manifestations of the same Adi Parashakti, Durga, Kali. So like Aramaisamma, that is the Kali temple in on the way to Moinabad, very famous temple. That's a local name, but all are Kali or Durga manifestations. Please note that there is no deviation. Mariamma, Maramma, Pochamma, Maisamma, all. They are there in every street, most popular worship. And now Ashada Jatra is coming on Sunday. The Mahankali temple, very big Jatra is there on Sunday. Ashada Masam is famous for the Ashada Jatra Mahankali. Yeah, somebody asked where there is a Navadurga temple on the way to Moinabad, after Moinabad. So if you go to Moinabad and go towards Chevilla or towards Vikarabad, some 10 kilometers away, there's a place called Kanakamamidi. So that Kanakamamidi has two temples. So one is the Navadurga temple on the highway itself, and the other inside we have on the mountain, small mountain, is a Venkateswara temple along with a very big Hanuman, 30-40 feet Hanuman. So you can visit, go to Kanakamamidi, and on the highway, if you go a little further, you'll find Ashtadasha Bhuja Durga temple, Navadurga temple. The Navadurga temple with the main deity with Ashtadasha Bhuja Durga. Of course, on the Moinabad road, you'll find other temples also. Gayatri temple is there right in the beginning, opposite to the, even before the Swaminarayan Gurukul. Everywhere in the country, you'll find so many temples of Shakti, Adi Parashakti. So I have covered all major devatas. Now somebody is asking a question whether Mrityunjaya Mantram really overcomes death. Yes, temporarily, yes. In the particular crisis, it is not against nature exactly, because final death is not coming, but there is a risk of death. So final death, of course, everybody has to die, and let it come, then no efforts will stop it. But the Mrityunjaya Mantram will postpone for the time being in certain circumstances. Otherwise, death is definite even without on this point. Yeah, regarding the Bali, we all break a coconut or break one Kushmantam, Kummadikai, and be done with it. But the communities, not only non-Brahmin communities in South India, but even the Brahmin communities in Orissa or Bengal or Bihar or Kashmir, they all are non-vegetarians. They perform the Nivedana of animal, non-vegetarian. That is part of their culture. We cannot refute it. We cannot oppose it. It is their culture, and South India has a different culture. South India is primarily vegetarian. The Brahmins are vegetarians, but Brahmins in these states are not vegetarians. Various reasons are there. So we don't want to criticize anybody. Of course, nobody asked you to go there and be like that, or nobody asked you to kill an animal here. It is up to the traditional practices which are coming. Of course, even in the yajnas, Pashu is, the homam is done, but that is also controversial. Some people oppose that also. Yeah, men are given Gayatri Upadesha Upanayana. How can women? Well, see, the woman, the Upanayana of woman is at marriage itself. If you remember, in marriage, they will tie one munji, that rope, to the woman. The same thing is used in Upanayana for a man. So, when the marriage takes place, the woman is getting attached to the man, and therefore all his karma will be 50% available to her. So females have a special privilege. Even if they don't perform the actual upasana, 50% of the result which the husband performs will come to wife automatically. Is it good news or bad news?
But what about the other side? I mean, whatever they do, will the men get?
No. Remember the Valmiki story, you remember?
Yeah. Yes.
No, the Gayatri Japam is not required for females who are menstruating and all those things. That's why the reason why some of the restrictions are kept for females is because of the menstruation problems. So those who crossed a particular age, like even in Ayappa Swami temple, it is not allowed because of the menstruation reasons. So, but older women or very young girls, they don't have that problem. So they are permitted all religious rituals, including this chanting of Gayatri. But females have their own. Why they want to penetrate into male domain? Varalakshmi Vratam and other, Adi Shakti Upasana are all there. Why they can't do those things and get results.
One
No,
question
no,
is,
no. If woman's punyam will not go to husband 50% automatically, but she will be praying for the welfare of the husband. That will work. But automatically it's a one-way traffic. Valmiki story, if you remember, those who don't know the Valmiki story, Valmiki was killing people who are passing through certain small roads through forests and confiscating their gold and other things and giving to his wife and children. So one day Narada asked Valmiki, why you are doing this sinful acts? So Valmiki said, I'm doing it for my family purpose. Then Narada told Valmiki to go and ask whether his wife and children are willing to take 50% of the, or 50% or 100% of these sins committed by Valmiki. When he asked them, they said, no, we have nothing to do with it. So with that result, he has stopped his violent actions and he became a saintly person and he wanted to pass. So he is so stupid and is so crude that he cannot chant even one mantra with his mouth. Rama also he cannot say. So Valmiki was given the Upadesham by Narada to say only Mara. So Mara he could say. So Mara, it became Ram, and finally you know what Valmiki became. He is the Adi Kavi of the classical Sanskrit language.
there's a question on, is it not mentioned in Vedas?
Natural, everything is natural. No, everything is natural, but there are principles of hygiene, right? Even you know what I mean. Even other things are natural, but why are we avoiding that? Why are we taking bath before Upasana? Why don't we listen to mantras inside a toilet? Is it permitted? So everything is natural, but there are procedures and rules and restrictions given for your own benefit, not for anybody else's benefit. So for your own benefit, in fact, during menstruation, the female body is in such a drastic stage that total rest is required. Even they don't even take bath. So they will simply remain in total isolation and rest. You can't expect them to perform religious rituals without taking bath and all that. So purification, all religious activities require purification. Now there is a question of how mantras work. Yeah, mantra, see, Maranat Trayate mantra, the word mantra itself means that which saves you, Trayate, Maranat, by remembering and repeating. That particular vibration will start acting. Like you can experience it yourself. Om, for example. Why are you chanting Om? You can chant long Om and you can see the effect immediately. It will calm your mind, it will give you a deeper breath, blood pressure will come down, heartbeat will come down. People have done critical studies. When the mouth is like this, heart is calming down. So a lot of studies have also been done. So each mantra has a particular effect. And those mantras do, like I'm, if a stupid, like even Kalidasa, when he was a shepherd and was a very stupid person, he kept on repeating and he started becoming more and more intelligent and wiser. That I'm Bijam is Saraswati Bijam. So Sree Bijam is Lakshmi Bijam. These are all secrets. Our modern people don't understand all this. I am the only person who is modern also and traditional also. Otherwise, people don't understand all this great science of Mantra Shastra. I've studied it under a teacher for some months. He is no more. So what is Mantra Shastra? I have studied actually. So in fact, our Remal Avadhan Garu recommended me to Chebol Subramanian Shastri Garu and gave me a good certificate. He is good, you teach him. So finally I learned. So penance means tapasya. Tapasya includes a variety of activities. Tapasya, mantra japa means pranayama means greatest tapasya is pranayama itself. In tapa pranayama, Panchasikacharya quotation is there. And also upavasas, Krichandrayana, the vratams are there. Chandrayana vratam means along with the moon, you will be eating or not eating. That means Amavasya, you don't eat anything. Next day, you eat a little bit. Next day, a little bit more. Next day, a little bit more. On Purnami, you eat full meal. Again, you reduce to Amavasya. 1 month. If this Chandrayana Vratam is done, then greatest sins can be overcome. Krut Chandra, even the murder charges and all other sins can be overcome by Chandrayana, Krut Chandrayana, the Vratas, and then tapasya in the middle of fire or in water or standing on 1 foot or inverted Shirshasana tapasya. All asanas are tapasya, pranayama is tapasya, japam is tapasya, sanjandra is also tapasya. All are tapasyas. And all the vratams, people like Ayyappa Swami, and then this vratam, that's vrat rakha hai. Our Prime Minister himself, vrat ka khana khata hai. 9 days, he will not eat food. Our Prime Minister gets lot of power. One is by practice of yoga, second is by practice of tapasya of various types. Of course, he has no desires, he has no family, he has no possessions. And now Navaratris, most of the North Indians, our Prime Minister perform vratam. That means they don't eat food except some very special prasadam or something at some time.
There is
So
one
these things have
question.
effects. Whole world, whole country practice. If you get Navaratri Vratam, they have 2 Navaratris. One is the Navaratri, other is Navaratris. They practice this Vratam. You can ask any North Indian. And Bengalis also have so many Vratams. Every society, every traditional culture has these things. Even tribals or Shudras or Kshatriyas or Vaishyas, they all have their traditional practices through their gurus. It's going on. The gurus are there everywhere. Peethadhipatis are there, then small peetams are there, then sadhus are there, sannyasis are, Mahamandaleshwar. There's a hierarchy. What is Varahi or Gupta Navaratri? Well, Varahi Devi is there in the Kashi. This is extraordinary power. So Varaheswara Swami in Tirupati, the consort of Varaheswara Swami is Varahi. Varahi Upasana will give tremendous results. In Kashi, they close at 7:30 in the morning. And so you have to go there very early morning. I could not go last time. I had to go to Pushkar Tirtham. So Varahi Upasana, some people are doing in the evenings every day for 9 days. In this Ashada Mayasam, Ashada, is famous for Devi Upasana. Those who are in Secunderabad, they know what is Pankali temple, and Ashada Jatra Sunday, massive lakhs of people go there. It's a very big event. Even KCR will go there. So Ashada Masam is famous for the local deities, upasanas. All are windows to Adi Parashakti.
There is one question on to know about Navadurga temples around Himachal Pradesh.
Not around, inside Himachal Pradesh, you go, there are many temples. If you go to Chintapurni, that is a very famous, very popular temple. After the Anand Sahib, when you go from Mohali towards border, you'll get Chintapurni as the first one. Then Vajreshwari is there before Dharmashala. And before that is Chamunda, and before that is Jwala. Jwala, actually, the flames are coming all the time. Of course, it may be due to some sulfur or something, I'm not sure. But so many events have happened in those spots in the past. The Durga Saptashati events, killing of the Asuras, different Asuras, who are extremely powerful. So all these forms, Kali, which are very fearsome and terrible, were assumed to kill those Asuras.
So there's one question on
you don't ask me. You know the traditional practices. You please practice. As I told you, once the menstrual age is crossed or not reached, there is no problem. But during menstrual periods age, it is not permitted because of the same problems. Of course, some people do that on particular occasions, but better to follow the traditional procedures than to break them. If you break them, the loss is not for anybody else, it's for you only.
One question is on different books give slight different sequence of the Sree Suktam. So they want to know.
No, Sree
Please
Suktam is one and
provide.
same. Sree Suktam is exactly same.
Maybe
Any
they,
Vedic mantras cannot be changed.
right. So they wanted the PDF of the sloka that you said.
Right? If it download as YouTube, we will get everything. I've sent for Sree Suktam chanting in the group also.
Right.
Please remember, these are all chanted. That's important point. If you simply read and all that like a novel, there will be no use.
It has to
You
be
have
chanted.
to chant. Only when your Veda mantras are meant for chanting. Only when chanting is done, there will be results. If you simply read, it will be confusing.
And
Yeah,
the swaras
somebody-
also we can't get. Swara we can't get.
No, you have to learn properly if you want. I have
Yeah.
learned properly in the traditional way. Otherwise, you simply listen.
Hmm.
If you cannot chant, don't chant wrongly. Of course, some people chant without swaras, which has got its own loss or benefit. A little bit benefit will be there, but much of it will be lost. So, best is to practice according to the traditional rules and according to your own traditions. Everybody has local traditions. Now, somebody asks who is Supreme God. There is no Supreme. Raja Rajeshwari, Adi Parashakti is the final. All are windows to the same. The Dashamaha Vidyas, all the Lakshmi, Kali, all are windows. I told you on the first day itself.
There's one question that has come just now. I heard all human beings are feline power, I mean feminine power, I think, or Prakriti, and only unchanged power is Purush. Then how come this discrimination of male and female?
No, that is okay. See, there is no discrimination. Don't misinterpret things. The nature has in animal kingdom and plant kingdom also, we have the male and female elements for the purpose of procreation. Okay, reproduction. Otherwise, there is no need. If there is no reproduction required, there is no need for male and female division. So once the male and female division is created, there are certain constraints and there are certain properties of male and female which have to be respected. You cannot say that the males will become females, females will become males. It's all nonsense. That will amount to homosexuality. That is totally erroneous. It is against nature. So male and female properties and functions have to be respected. Otherwise, there will be chaos. If all males behave like females and all females behave like males, there will be a total chaos. So, for example, childbearing, pregnancy, male cannot do it. Suppose male wants to do it and he wants to have some artificial procedure to do it, AI to do it, all that nonsense. It is going against nature unnecessarily. There is no need. So males will do their male job, females will do their female jobs. So that is how it is, and accordingly the rules and restrictions have been formed, nothing else. It is not any discrimination or any nonsense like that. Like, can you say males are discriminated by nature because they are not allowed to carry children in pregnancy? If you want to do that, then you become a female. So Bhishma didn't want to see a face of anybody who turned into a male from a female or female into male. It's not required. It's all unnatural. So harmonize with nature. Nature has given you all provisions. So the rules and regulations given in Shastras and Shastra Vimutsrujya Kamakarana. So those who don't follow the Shastras will pay the price of it. What is Purushartha? Purushartha is the human effort. Prarabdha and Purushartha, there are two things. Prarabdha is your fate, which is already, the results of actions already done. Purushartha is your present human effort. So you can overcome Prarabdha through Purushartha. Through your effort, you can achieve results which will overcome your fate. Fate will be there. Fate will come and start acting. But when you fight, you have to fight. That's what the message given everywhere. In the Gita also. You have to fight. That fight is the Purushartha. Your effort to counteract your fate. And Purusharthas are four. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Chaturvidha Phala Purusharthas. So your Purushartha can be composed of Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. So in the marriage, it is mentioned, Karmecha, Ardhecha, Kamecha, Nathicharami. I will not transgress, I will not cross you, I will not, what do you call, transgress you on in any action of dharma, in any action of abdha, any action of kama. For moksha, there is no question of any transgression. Moksha is your own individual moksha. I mean, if the husband gets moksha, it doesn't mean wife also will get moksha. It doesn't mean that. But dharma and artha and kama, they have to do jointly. And there is no other way. If they start acting independently, they'll have serious problems. That's why no secret should be kept between husband and wife. If you start keeping secrets, even small ones or big ones, you'll have big problems in your life. So they are doing everything together jointly because nature has made them two different parts of nature. You cannot replace each other. So you both are required. Without that, no reproduction is possible, no child is possible. And otherwise, whole society will be vanished after some time if there is no marriage. Everybody will die. So to keep the society alive, marriage institution is there, and to keep that marriage, male and female are two different configurations in nature. They have to exist in the same way. They cannot become one to the other. So they both have to exist and they have to complement each other. The flexible complement, that is a marriage institution.
I think
Okay.
the questions are over.
Yeah, I think now is a very good session, very enlightening, and even question answer session is very active, and a lot of questions have come through chat. I request all of you to follow the same thing every day. So it is most convenient. It will save a lot of time of you also people asking, calling you and asking. Okay, now I think we have done with the question answer session, sir. What we do is that we will go for Prarthana and then Vijan Ganaman. Okay, I'll request Ananthanji to do Prarthana, please.
Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahimmaishaah O Brahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sashyashalini Deshoyam Kshobarahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaah Aputrah Putrina Santu Pautrinah Adana Sadana Santu Jivantu Sharadam Shatam Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya Om Shanti 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 Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sarvebhyaha Namaskaraha.
Dhanyavadamulanడి Anantan garu. Now let us recite national anthem and we will request Challa Chitti Babu garu to lead. Let us all stand up and then sing Janagana.
Janagana Mana Adhinayaka Jaya He Bharata Bhagya Vidhata Punjab Sindhu Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Banga Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga Uchala Jaladhita Ranga Tava Shubha Name Jage Tava Shubha Ashish Mange Gahe Tava Jaya Gatha Janagana Mangala Dayaka Jaya He Bharata Bhagya Vidhata Jaya He Jaya He Jaya He Jaya 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 He జై హింద్.
జై హింద్.
జై.
ధన్యవాదములండి చల్లా చిట్టిబాబు గారు.